boom, 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 yum.
Scare musicians and music lovers. I'm Cutoff.
I'm Residence.
And this is a thing we call Pardon My Danish. A music review series where we take a listen to some of electronic music's most popular acts and tell you how wrong you are for liking it.
And we want you to know that we think Daft Punk sucks. Sort of. They didn't always. I personally don't think they've come around since '95.
Whoa.
What? I'm not wrong.
Yes.
I'm not wrong.
Uh-huh.
I really don't care what you have. If you don't think that Pharrell and Georgia Moore Jordan, go ahead and suck my fat hairy ball.
Considering that this is a new show, we're still trying to locate the audience.
We felt that the best course of action to take would be to tug at the heartstrings of the internet.
By taking a dump all over the world's most recognizable robot duo.
Because we're classy like that.
1993. Daft Punk is a thing. Emerging from some dimly lit French discotheque in someone's rented flat's basement, they offered a fresh and refreshing take on how music could be made to everyone.
Amen, brother.
Including gearheads!
Homework in 1997 saw a simplistic approach to the production, yet with quite some depth and presence, where the dry drum machines and the small selection of electronics, such as the Roland Juno 106, crystallized a true style manifesto. Production techniques were Spartan, but very efficient, with heavy and fast compression, but still with, dare I say it, a rock angle to the finalization.
Without any hyperbole, everyone can probably definitely agree that Daft Punk single-handedly revolutionized dance music, let alone made disco music relevant to younger audiences. But even considering that, we can't forget the fact that, despite their more creative endeavors,
Who would do that?
their raison d'etre is entirely grounded in dance music. Face it, the French touch movement became a thing when these two threw themselves into the frame. At first, it was a bunch of French musicians who said the disco was awesome, heard about the Warehouse Club in Chicago, and said,
Hey, we should bring that shit back or something.
Cool.
and then they did. Whatever. And then Daft Punk happened, and then holy shit, this is amazing!
Everything would be amalgamated up to a new and superb level in the 2001 album Discovery, which arguably is one of the most defining masterpieces in electronic music, and which production style legacy presumably sticks to Daft Punk now, like, you know how European nobility in the Middle Ages loved camphor as a perfume, but now it smells like a trip to the dentist laundry? That. Anyway,
You get it?
Besides the obvious Wurlitzer piano, Roland drum machines, even including the rubber key abomination DR110 and the classic 909, were sprinkled all over the album along with Moog synths, Akai samplers and other gear. What's undeniably the charm, allure and revolution of this album, though, is that these playfully used devices all come together in a boundless harmony of a revolutionary production style, led by the now classic Alesis 3630 compressor, which spawned the delightful new disco pump. This was the shit for modern electronica.
Blown away with Homework and absolutely amazed with Discovery, musicians and listeners everywhere were enthusiastic to see these two geniuses making a mark on the industry with their fresh take on tired tropes in music and in marketing, amping everyone up for the next big leap these two were to spearhead, which was, unfortunately, human after all.
So we're gonna go ahead and take a listen to this thing, let you know how we feel about it, so we'll see you in a little bit.
Ja, du wissen.
Thing took 45 minutes of my life, and I wanted them back, please!
Look, I'll be honest. If it weren't for these two, I don't think I'd be involved in music at all. Discovery was my first exposure to Daft Punk. It was bright, alive, and delightfully inventive for its time, and in my opinion, responsible for giving the French touch movement clout to breach walls outside of Europe. And Human After All threw all that shit out the fucking window.
Perhaps this perfection and expectation to repeat it was just too much for the rebels Thomas and Guiman. This abhorrent production called Human After All is one of the most underwhelmingly engineered electronic albums of all time. There's no depth to any music elements. They sit at times in a 1948 bluegrass and mono sludge with guitar distortion used as a bus compressor.
Even Bon Alter himself stated in an interview that the album took just around a few months to complete. And it shows. It's so limited that despite its production quality, the whole thing feels almost incomplete. The elements are few and used excessively to deny any feeling of depth or even personality.
It's like,
Hey, Kiman, I got this endless groove going through this vintage tape delay, but if I switch everything off and crank up the gain, do you see how this is like pissing on the established Paris house movement in one fell swoop?
version. EMI, release this shit like tomorrow.
Don't get me wrong, I love Daft Punk, and I commend them for their valiant effort in trying to develop a concept album, being as thorough as possible, and conveying the themes and ideas that they were trying to propose through sound. The problem is that it doesn't fucking work. It's dull, muddy, and underpronounced. I mean, it's the same effects over and over. Guitar, vocoder, drum kit. Rinse and repeat. The whole thing is conducive to baby punching. It's fucking boring!
7.000 storrynkede svisker. Why did this charge at all? I don't know. Anyway.
Congratulations, Daft Punk. You successfully written and produced a dance record that doesn't actually make me want to dance. Good job.
So, on to introducing our rating system.
We tend to go from a scale of 2 based on quality.
Subjective quality.
Right. Subjective quality. In any case, for Daft Punk's Human After All, we give this a rating of... For I want my ear cells back!
If you liked or agreed with what we had to say, please be sure to like this video, or comment, or subscribe.
And if you didn't like what we had to say in this video, and you personally want to scoop my eyes out with a wooden spoon, you don't have to like this video, you can dislike it, or you can leave your opinion in the comments below. Also, don't scoop my eyes out with a wooden spoon, that just seems wrong and unsanitary.
Yeah. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you liked it, whether you're a musician or not. And if you are, keep making music.
If it sucks, we'll listen to it.